And then we have to share. We have to share it because sharing it. Did you turn on the heater?
No, yeah, I don't know because
It
when
feel-
I'll tell you this, when I reset the internet, I just reconnected.
It feels like the heat is on.
Yeah. The problem is his collar is not charged. Also, I was trying to think. Don't mention my haircut bit because actually I had to go to someone else today. I had to go to that.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. You know we're live on Facebook.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Thank you.
That's a
Can
shame.
you delete it and just start over?
Nope.
But now I feel bad.
Well, you shouldn't have.
I had to.
Should have been a betrayer.
Because actually, so you know, it's because I had to meet with the chick that we were going to try and get on the show as a guest.
Okay. Well, we got to start recording. This won't be a part of the podcast, though. It's just on the Facebook stream.
Yeah, well, that's the place that.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. You go to Ace?
I have.
I like Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware, I say, would be my
There's
preferred.
no way that I can go to Ace and just find exactly what I need. I have to ask where can I find this?
But you can find it at a Home Depot or a Lowe's?
I'm more likely to find it if I'm at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Really?
Because the aisle, I feel like the aisles are a little bit better. I know, like, if I'm looking for a certain piece, I'm probably going to find it on, like, the aisle that says plumbing. Like, the aisles at the Ace Hardware.
You know they're labeled the exact same, right?
It's completely.
This
I feel
isn't
like
part
it's
of the show,
completely
by the way.
random.
This is
No,
this is
I know it's completely
this is
random.
the warm up, if you will.
I mean,
All
Ace is great, but can't
Good
find anything.
topics.
I have to find. I'm like, hey man, I'm looking for this, and I have to show it to him. And he's like, oh, that's over there on this aisle. I'm like, never would have found that. I would have been looking forever.
That's really weird. Okay. Let's see. Make sure I got that. Okay, cool. You ready?
Yep,
Hey, Matt.
Kenny.
You know, I posted some really big, exciting news on the Facebook page.
Are we getting another season? We've been approved for another season of Two Moves.
No, that rarely ever happens.
We're coming to the end of the season.
I don't know why you do seasons when it's a podcast, but did you know fanny packs are back?
Oh yeah, that's
Fanny packs. I've been.
Well, back on the website. I wouldn't say they're back style wise.
Oh no, they're back style wise.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I definitely would. All the hipsters are wearing them. And hipsters, as we all know, are cool people. And if you want to be a cool person, just check out twomoves.com/merch and you can go get yourself a fanny pack, which are finally back in stock. It was what when we first started the show, just a little FYI, when we first started the show and we launched our merchandise, we had fanny packs on there. And then in the excitement of all it, I don't know why I didn't order it immediately. I waited like a week to order, and when I ordered the fanny pack, they said, "Nope, sorry, it's not.
It's
we're
fanny
sold
pack
out."
shortage.
Yep, we're
The
sold
supply
out.
chain.
But fanny packs are finally back, and so you can get yours now at twomoves.com/merch, and you can look oh so fly wearing your fanny pack, branded with Two Moves. Would you ever wear a fanny pack?
No.
Like-
There's no situation in which I would wear a fanny pack.
Not even if you're like on a trip somewhere, like in a foreign country, and you're
Backpack.
an entire backpack just for your passport and
I have
wallet.
varying sizes of backpacks. Some that are just like
All you need to
one
put in
shoulder
there-
backpack.
You just need some hand sanitizer, your wallet, your cell phone you can keep in your pocket,
Yeah,
and
same
then your
thing with the wallet.
and then your passport.
Wallet and
That's all you need.
passport pocket,
You realize how bulky a passport can get?
as opposed to an entire fanny pack.
It literally just wraps around your waist. You don't have to put it in your pocket.
See, for me, literally, you just put the passport or your wallet in your back pocket.
You're also the least stylish of the bunch. I will say, we got our buddy Jeremy listening from New Orleans. Apparently, fanny packs are only a tourist thing, and you will definitely be robbed if you wear a fanny pack in New Orleans.
That's the number one thing that you have to go for. Also, our friend Jeremy, wild story.
Yeah.
that I would love to get him to call in and just talk about it.
We might do that for a future episode.
That might be great.
But in the meantime, 2moves.com/merch is where you can get yourself an official 2 Moves fanny pack.
Speaking, little known fact, you, me, our friend Jeremy, the listener, and some other friends in high school, we created a cult. Remember briefly? We had a little cult going on. Created a cult.
You know, some people say that this show is creating its own cult.
That's unacceptable. The cult that we created in the past was not acceptable.
That is true. In the meantime, everyone, enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 7 acknowledged wonders of the world. You are about to witness the 8th.
I'm sure dog wear the collar if the batteries aren't charged.
It's because he knows at least to behave.
Is he, though?
Well,
Is he?
the thing is he's being more behaved than if he didn't have the collar on.
You say that
Training
as
collar.
now he's starting to talk and ruin our show.
He knows.
All right. 2 Moves, episode 58. How is everyone doing today?
I hope everyone's doing really well.
I
out
really
there.
hope so, too. That would be quite nice. I'm
If
Kenny.
you're not doing well, chime in. Let us know why. Maybe we can help you out.
You missed your cue.
What I miss?
I said I'm Kenny.
Oh, I'm Matt as well, by the way.
Well, thank you for joining us. There are many ways that you can take part in it in our fantastic show. You can always email us, show@2moves.com. You can participate on our Facebook page. You could text us, 347-MY-MOVES. And phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah,
When they call in,
I don't know if we're going to get a notification or not. I got to
So
keep
like,
my
how
eye
do you
on
know
them.
when to answer? Like, where's the answer button
I
that
don't
you
know.
have set up?
We haven't taken a phone call yet, so how am I supposed to know? But there are many ways that you can participate in our show, including watching us live on Facebook, as our friend Jeremy is doing right now, who then told us to be quiet and shush and not talk about his insanity that he's been dealing with lately.
It's so. I mean, that's the interesting. That's an interesting story.
It is very interesting, but like I said, in the meantime too, you could definitely take part in our Facebook page, which Carmen actually did a few days ago. We were talking about Mountain Dew Seltzer. Is that coming out?
Okay, so that is something that I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
And I as soon as I know where to get some, I'll go grab some.
Well, apparently, you know, we heard about it, and it was going to be the Baja Blast, but now they come out with a variety pack, and it has regular, Baja Blast, watermelon, and black cherry.
First off,
Those are gonna be your 4
every
flavors.
seltzer company goes and makes watermelon. That's like the go-to flavor for seltzer. But my go-to is black cherry.
Really? Okay. Well,
Ever since the days of Publix brand
Oh,
black
man.
cherry soda, which I don't even think they make anymore.
Oh yeah, they do. They
Do
definitely do.
I haven't seen it.
Because it's better than regular cherry cola. The black cherry cola,
Yeah,
it
cherry
just
cherry's
tastes
all right,
a little differently.
but black cherry just slaps.
Yep. But I will say I'm not a fan of seltzers at all, and I know I get a lot of flack from that. Our friend Shannon pretty much like wants to boycott the show now because I don't drink seltzer. But I will say I every seltzer I've had I have not liked. They're not a sponsor, but there was one. You and I went to an event at the Dr. Phillips Center, and you got a Funky Buddha seltzer because that's what they had there.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And
this one.
I think it was just lemon lime, and I had a sip, and I will admit, wasn't terrible.
it was like Sprite.
It was similar. Now it
Spritey?
still tasted watered down and a little bit like TV static, but I wouldn't.
That's a good way to put it. TV stat.
It tastes like TV. Like there's the joke. It tastes like TV static, and then someone across the room yells a flavor.
The thing about seltzer drinks
Is that
for
it's
me
awful?
Is when I'm in the pool or I'm at the beach. That's when it's like full on. I will drink those like there's no tomorrow. There's something about the location and drinking. Like if we were inside here, just having a drink, or at a bar, just having a drink, I would not be ordering a seltzer. It's got to be hot as hell out for me to be drinking seltzer.
I'd rather do beer. Although I will admit, so when we were, we're children of the 90s. Do you remember the Zima commercials about how they made Zima seem so trendy and popular?
Is there any way to get Zima now?
So they re-released Zima, like it was off the market for a while, and all Zima is, it's basically Smirnoff Ice. It was pre-Smirnoff Ice.
Okay.
But they it didn't sell. But then when Smirnoff Ice became like a huge popular thing, they brought back Zima. Well, Zima was BOGO at our Publix here, and this is when you lived downtown. There was one 4th of July. I went over there. hung out at the pool, and I brought some BOGO Zima. Never had it before because, again, I was a child when it first came out.
You never had sampled it.
Yeah, never.
Underage.
Exactly. Cracked one open, drank it. It is god awful disgusting.
Oh, really?
Zima is
Like
terrible.
Because I mean, Smirnoff Ice is fine. It's very sweet. I
It's-
feel like,
let me
but you're
say this.
saying Zima is just it's no
Smirnoff
good.
Ice is very collegey.
Yeah.
Smirnoff Ice reminds me of. It's what people drank who didn't know alcohol. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. If you drink a Smirnoff Ice, I won't make fun of you as much as I would other beverages. But if you like it, that's great. I know Smirnoff Ice also had different flavors too. That's what I did appreciate.
So for me in college, Smirnoff Ice is what all the girls would drink. They were like, you know, you're at a party, girls are always grabbing the Smirnoff Ice. You know, if you were hosting a party, you're like, hey, we got to grab Smirnoff Ice because the girls like the Smirnoff Ice. But if you think about it,
But Zima,
Smirnoff Ice, it's all the flavor. What made it like? What made it the girl drink? Right? Like, why was it
it's
for
just-
you that if guys were seen drinking Smirnoff Ice, they're like, dude, what are you drinking?
I think it's because of the high sugar content. Because there's a stereotype that guys need to drink like the stuff that makes you gag and
the
cough and,
harder
like, the hard
drinks, right?
stuff.
But
And
but
if there's
fast forward,
sugar in it,
how is that different now with the seltzer drinks?
well, there's a lot of people that make fun of guys who drink seltzer.
Yeah.
So it kind of get that. Jeremy again chimes in talking about if you don't drink, diet ginger ale is the way to go, which I'm inclined to agree with him because
Ginger ale's all right. I've you know
No,
what?
but diet ginger ale because there's no sugar, so you're not going to get the calories, and you can drink a bunch of it. I will admit, when a few years ago, when I was trying to lose weight and I cut off alcohol for a while, that's what I would do: diet ginger ale because you still get the same feel of alcohol
Yeah.
because it's ginger ale.
Let me throw this out there. At my father's house in their garage,
Yeah.
they stock up just all kinds of random drinks. You know, that it's like you would imagine 6-packs on 6-packs of like random drinks. They will have mini cans like you would get on an airplane
Ooh.
of ginger ale
Yeah,
and diet
yeah.
ginger ale. And that when I'm over there, I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself to a ginger ale. It's one of those things I'll never go out and buy or order at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But when I'm there, I'm like, if this is a treat, reach into the garage fridge and grab a ginger ale.
Nice. I will say there was a time when I was a ginger ale fiend, and they I think it was Canada Dry, or it could have been Schweppes or any of those other companies. It was like half ginger ale, half lemonade. So they were kind of doing the Arnold Palmer with ginger ale. That was terrible.
Someone, you know,
That was disgusting.
Weren't you and I someplace where like a bartender told us this is how you make 7-Up? It's a mix between like a
Oh,
ginger
it was
ale.
like ginger ale and Coke or something like
There
that.
was something like that. That's how you make.
Or no, that's how you make ginger ale is like 7-Up and Coke.
Something
that
like
was
that.
there. I don't believe it. 'cause-
Do you think that between the 3 7-Up, ginger ale, and Canada Dry, you could determine?
easily. Well, Canada Dry is ginger ale. It's a brand of ginger ale. You think 7-Up and Sprite? I think you're thinking of 7-Up and Sprite and Sierra Mist.
Okay, well, we can do
Ginger
that
ale
too.
is its own beverage.
right, but then there's Canada Dry.
That's a brand of ginger ale.
Hold on.
Ginger ale is not a brand.
That's like saying soda, right?
Ginger ale is like saying lemonade.
Yeah.
There's Minute Maid.
Okay, I
there's
gotcha.
Canada Dry is a brand.
All right. So
You're thinking Canada Dry or Schweppes.
I got
Schweppes makes the other ginger ale.
I thought ginger ale
There's
was
one
the
more
was the
ginger ale.
brand.
There's one more ginger ale brand that I'm missing that it's really bothering me because there's Schweppes, there's Canada Dry, and there's another one too.
Just put it in top ginger ale brands. What do you get?
Seagram's. That was it.
Oh,
Seagram's.
Seagram's 7.
Yeah, because everyone's 7 and 7. So because
Okay.
Seagram's makes the ginger ale, Seagram's
What's
also
funny
makes
is
the
like,
gin.
but we've talked about this before. There's no similar Mountain Dew or
Mellow Yellow. Mellow Yellow is the
I mean, there's Dr.
Coca-Cola.
Pepper and Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, and Mellow Yellow is the alternative to Mountain Dew.
Okay. You don't see Mellow Yellow all too often.
You don't because
You see it at Tijuana Flats.
you do. That
They got the lockdown on that Mellow Yellow.
And then same thing with Dr. Pepper, because Dr. Pepper is technically independent. So you'll see it with Coke, even though Coke has Mr. Pibb. But sometimes you'll see some Dr. Pepper out there.
Yeah.
You know, I visited the Dr. Pepper museum in Waco, Texas.
Oh, is it a plant or is it?
Well, it's the plant, but then they have the museum there that has
Okay.
all the Dr. Pepper paraphernalia. It was
Okay.
weird. Because I've been to the World of Coke before in Atlanta.
So
but there's at least different types of Coca-Cola. Going to the Dr. Pepper, it's just Dr. Pepper.
have you
and all the
ever
different
gone
Dr.
to any
Pepper
like
flavors.
wineries? Have you ever been to like the Lake Ridge?
Not the one
Winery?
here, but I've been to wineries before, yes.
Okay. So I've been to Winers as well, Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley.
Mm-hmm.
By far, the more interesting experience was the Bacardi factory.
Oh, in San Juan that
in
we
San
went to.
Juan. That was top notch. Like
That was fun.
I feel like you go to a winery, you've been to them all.
Yeah.
Right? They take you in, they show you the casks. They show you where it's all made or whatever.
I'm inclined to
and then
agree.
they sample. They're like, hey, here, we'll bring out some samples for you. You could buy some if you want. Bacardi was like,
Yeah.
that was a fun time.
I think the trick is you have to have a good tour guide. Because I've been on a couple of wineries where the tour guide was really awesome.
Yeah.
And that maker, same thing with brewery tours, because all brewery tours are the same. They're going to smell the same. You know that, it's water and yeast and hops. So we get it. But I think if it's a good tour guide, then you're going to be solid.
Okay. If we've talked about opening up our own brewery before.
Yes.
If we had tours, we would have to do it somewhat differently
Oh,
than
of
all the.
course.
It'd have to be like a haunted brewery tour.
Oh, I guarantee that's already been done.
Really?
Guarantee that's already been done.
Haunted brewery.
If I find it
So
right
what
now,
what do
there's
you
probably some hipster city in North Carolina
or
that
Salem,
does it.
yeah. What would you do to a brewery tour to
Done.
make it
Haunted brewery tour, and there's like tens of different options out there. Anyway, all of that stemmed off of Carmen's post on our Facebook page. So thank you for that. And again, you can always participate at any time. And right now, we are taking calls, whether or not I know that our phone rings or not. 347-MY-MOVES, 347-696-6637. To answer your question, what would I do in a tour? It doesn't necessarily have to be brewery. It could like any tour to separate it. I think it'd have to have some sort of interactivity to it.
Okay, haunted house tour turns into a brewery. You don't see many of those.
I did go. So if you know me, you know I don't believe in ghosts, and I don't care what you guys say. And I know Jeremy's listening, and he's huge into that. Don't believe in them. But I just to entertain it, I went on a ghost hunting tour where they gave you like
They give you the
those
electrometer.
little electrometers. Nothing happened. The most interesting thing I found was an empty condom wrapper on the side of the road.
That was used by a ghost.
We don't know that. But yeah, that's the only interesting thing I saw. So moving along here, we talked about it last week, and we're going to talk about it today and probably our next show. We are going to be doing the Cupid's Undie Run for charity for neurofibromatosis. Finally figured out how to say it. And it's a really cool charity. Apparently, NF is a nerve disease that causes tumors to grow on the nerves of your body, and they can be external. And because they're so painful, because again, they're attached to the nerves, a lot of people with NF can't wear like clothing, even if it's really cold or whatever.
Because it hurts.
Because it hurts so much. So as a way of solidarity, we strip down and we run around in our underwear to raise money. I was fortunate enough to be on Tom and Dan earlier today, which that's going to air Thursday. So if you're listening live, you'll be able to hear it on a mediocre time tomorrow. And I was able to raise some money doing that. My company was able to match the money.
Did you raise? Do you think you're going to raise some through the Tom and Dan show?
Oh, easy. I've already gotten some money raised through Tom and Dan. So.
You need to give them my link now so I can get that open bar.
Yeah, so I got that open bar ready. But if you want to donate to us, we've put the links all over our Facebook page. If you go to my.cupids.org/2moves, that's my page. However, when you're on my page, you can see Matt. You can click on his to donate directly to him.
I've got a
His
few
is
donations already.
my.cupids.org/mgunsta, Gunsta. We have a couple of listeners too. Thomas and Jessica will actually be joining us.
They're they're going to be joining in on the theme.
Exactly.
We're going to be posting a lot of photos afterwards.
Oh yeah, and
whether you guys like them or not, we're
Jessica's raised some money as well. So as a team, we've done a great job. But I just want to shout it out there. Again, we're going to be putting links galore on our Facebook page. So please, please, please make sure that you are donating to us. Sorry, I just looked over at our chat, and Jeremy says Diet Dr. Pepper does in fact taste better than regular Dr. Pepper, and he'll prove it.
He's like mathematical formula. He's gonna flip a dry erase board over, and it's gonna be like a mathematical formula that says, "This is why it tastes better."
If you go drinks versus diet versions of the drinks, I will admit that the taste difference between regular Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper is the smallest of any.
Oh yeah,
beverage.
yeah. I went and bought
I will
a 12 pack.
fully
of
admit
it before.
that Diet Dr. Pepper.
Mountain Dew
really
is the
does
same
taste.
way, but like some that are bad.
Well,
Coke.
and Diet Coke, of course. Mountain Dew, you can tell because of the amount of sugar they put in Mountain Dew. You can definitely tell a difference. Ginger ale, I think, is a close one too between ginger ale and Diet Ginger Ale. But cranberry. I will say cranberry juice,
Diet
juice,
cranberry?
and Diet cranberry juice are pretty dang similar in taste. I don't know at the level of Dr Pepper and Diet Dr Pepper.
What's funny about the cran juices
Cran?
is especially cran apple.
Okay.
Is the more that I drink it, the more it makes me thirsty. It's incredible. Like I can't stop, and I'm just like, I'm gonna pour some more, and I'm gonna pour some more, and I just start drinking until I'm
Because
full.
you get that tartness.
Yes,
That's why.
And you just wanna you get that
You just wanted to do that sound effect.
you get that noise.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about, you get scam emails, right?
Oh,
Where-
all the time.
Where it's the
I get scam phone
Nigerian
calls.
prince.
I get a scam phone calls, and I love taking those calls because I will fuck with them so hard.
Yeah, but again, we talked about this before, and you fail to realize that people who do that don't care. So you messing with them, they don't care. And quite frankly, they're not working on commission. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're wasting their time. It's just they're going to be doing it whether you mess with them or not.
You don't think that after several calls of people like yelling at them and hanging
No.
up on them, they're just like,
That's the
you know what?
that's the only way that
I've
they.
had a rough day. I'm done with this.
What
one
else could
today.
they be? No, because what else could they do? They
I
need to
don't-
make money. Anyway, so we
But
all
everybody else here, everyone in the United States, when we're assuming these people are calling from other countries,
Of course.
right?
Of course.
But you and I could have rough days where we're like, I'm fried
no,
for the day.
they can't because if they don't sit there, they don't get the money.
Same with us. If we don't do our job, we don't get money.
I don't know. Sometimes there's some pretty highfalutin people. They can not do work and still get paid. Just saying. Anyway, so going back to the scam emails, it's always the, I'm a prince of Nigeria and I'm, whatever. Well, this one was kind of interesting. The way they phrased it is different than what I've seen. It's the same thing where it's one of those like, hey, email me and I'll give you a bunch of money because I have it. I'm whatever. The subject of the email is, I trusted you.
Oh, already you're feeling guilty.
I know.
You're
And
like, who did I betray?
And he goes, I am sorry for the inconveniences. I am Mrs. Rosma al-Rustamani Dame from the United Arab Emirates. I am the manager of a foreign remittance department of a bank here in the UAE. I have a business proposal, which I'll believe will be very good opportunity for both of us.
Ooh.
So it's not one of those.
And they want to bring you in on this business proposal so
Exactly.
you can both make money.
Exactly, because it's not
Even
one
though
of,
they indicate that
I trusted you, but it wasn't one of
Or
those.
what if it's like, I trusted you. Now I'm going to offer you a business. Now maybe you're reading it wrong.
And it could be, but it was just weird because normally they're phrased as I'm looking for a benefactor or I'm trying to hide my money because I'm soon dying and I found your name. But this one, it's like, hey, you know what? I found an abandoned sum of money in a safety deposit vault that belonged to former Iraqi president Mr. Saddam Hussein.
Oh, found it. Just stumbled upon it.
So the discovery of the fund, we decided to make a business proposal to you and release the money as the next of kin to the deceased.
Oh.
And-
Well, that is true because Uday and Qusay
But
Hussein
here's
are
the
no
thing.
longer around.
I trusted you. I have a business proposal. Oh, yeah, by the way, you're the next of kin to Saddam Hussein, one of the worst dictators in the world.
What if you did 23andMe, Ancestry.com, and
It turns
and
out-
like literally it uploads, you get your email, like, congratulations, we've uploaded your info. I don't even know whatever it says, but like you get your information and you log in, that's your clacking on the mouse.
Yes, thank you.
And there's like your face, like literally it's a picture of you, your face, and then there's like a tree branch going straight up to Saddam Hussein.
But that's the thing. So again, when
And
I
it's just like weird.
the subject of the email, I trusted you. I'm like, I'm going to start reading this. It's going to give me a little bit of intrigue. And then when it talked about how the reason I'm getting this money is I'm the deceased or I'm the next of kin to Saddam Hussein, I'm like, well, I need to investigate this further.
Yeah. What if you showed up? You showed up in Iraq at the airport. And you're like, I'm here to collect my money.
Well, apparently-
I have this email from. I'm looking
Yep.
for the remittance department.
It's apparently it was found in the United Arab Emirates. So I'm
Oh,
like,
UAE, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, what was Saddam doing hiding
Well, he
money
needs
in
to
the
put he needs
UAE?
to keep his money all around.
He's got to diversify his funds, as Wu Tang said.
He needs to keep his money in different countries.
Yeah. So have you ever like gotten any other interesting spam emails or stuff like that?
I get spam text messages.
Yeah.
I get spam emails. I get the text messages. I think I told you about
Yeah.
this. I get the text messages where there's like 20 other people grouped in, and people start talking to one another.
And well, I'll tell you right now, if you're doing that, do not text back stop, because one, that doesn't do anything.
Right.
They're not going to stop.
that was
and
my
two,
thing.
all
I
it
told people
yeah,
that.
all it does is annoy everyone with continued text messages.
Right. It's the reply all.
Yeah. It's
you know,
so
the
annoying.
reply all of text
Oh,
messages.
one of our listeners says he got a spam text that predicted Betty White's death days before it happened. But here's the thing: she was 99 years
They
old.
trusted you.
She was.
Imagine that email. I trusted you. Betty White has not been doing well. She needs to be able to. What if it was like? What if the email was like? She needs someone to help take this money and do good with it.
I guess.
And then you're like, delete. And then like 2 days later, she dies, and you're like,
I could have that money. But here's the
that could've
thing,
been
though.
me.
If I just sent out a bunch of spam, texts like Queen Elizabeth, well, yeah, she's old as crap, of course. So eventually it will become true.
if you send 100 every week, eventually someone's gonna read it like the day before she
Exactly.
dies and be like, oh wow,
Inevitably, no, not inevitably.
inevitably
I think what would have
Ergo.
been more. I think
return to the Matrix.
I think what would have been more impressive is if you got one and it predicted Bob Saget's death, because that came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Anyway, so Moose, let us know what some of the most interesting scams that you've ever received. I'm not saying that you have to let us know if you fell for it or anything, but just what was something that was interesting that you thought came your way.
I know I have a friend who.
Yo, dude, your dog's ruining the show.
I have a friend who specifically sent like $500 wire transfer for a Yorkie.
Yeah.
That was in. He was looking for Yorkies and found like a Craigslist ad, and the person was like, "Yeah, I have them. I have a full litter. I'm overseas in Africa, country in Africa, and I'm on a mission trip, and I need to get I'll send it to you. I need you to wire me $500." Dude literally wired $500. Never heard from them again. And like he told me about this, I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
that's
a
like
shame.
scam. You couldn't find another Yorkie here, and he's like, well, for $500, no.
Have you ever fallen victim to a scam? And you can admit it, because I'd
have to think about it. I'm sure I have. but I have to think about
I fell victim once, and I've had, not anytime recently, but like I'd say 10 years ago, before Facebook Marketplace was even a thing, Craigslist was where to go for all your deals, right? I've had success getting sports events tickets through Craigslist.
Oh, okay.
And I've had a lot of success, because normally, like, I thought I've done a pretty good job separating what the scams are, just how they're written, how they're whatever.
Yeah. And the price. And
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But I found, I went to a Blackhawks game, and it was a guy. It's like, I can't go to the game tonight. I'm just selling 2 tickets. I can meet you at the Starbucks near my work, kind of thing. And when I was in Chicago and I got those tickets, met him at the Starbucks and got the tickets, right?
Oh, wow. So like in person.
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. And I've even done it digitally, where it's like, hey, I can't go to this event. Here's my Ticketmaster account. Like, here's a screenshot of it. Did the same thing for a Seahawks football game, and they were pretty decent seats, but they're not like the best. But they were $200 each, and I'm like, okay, that price is a great deal for that section. It's not a scam, because like they're showing me screenshots of them, they're showing me photos of them at the game, like whatever. And so I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. Here's my email, and I sent them money digitally. They didn't send me the tickets. Tried to contact them, couldn't contact them again. And I have $400 that was out.
Did you do it through like PayPal?
Now, see, that's the thing. I was able to get my money back.
Yeah.
And so fortunately for that, but I'm like, man, they got me, because they went the distance. And here's the thing. I wasn't just emailing them. They gave me their cell number, and I was texting them directly, and we were texting each other back and forth about the tickets.
So do you think that was just like a spam
Oh, it
number?
was. I'm sure it was a burner phone, or they were using like a Google phone account or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's our phone number is a Google phone account, not a scam. 347 my moves.
If you call us, they're going to call us a scam, because they'll call and not get anybody. The number is a scam.
Well, yeah, so that was interesting. But going back to bad luck, to me, Matt's typically the one that always deals with like food curses or
Weren't we?
bad Karen,
Didn't we
stuff
say
like
that we had we experienced the food curse somewhere else recently?
No, because you were talking to me about like getting him your dog a dog pop and stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they had an
Yeah.
entire bag full of them, so that didn't help. But so I went to dinner, and this was just last night. I went to a fancy dinner, and I'm going to call them out because they were awful and they're never going to be a sponsor. It was a place called Jack's Place.
I've never heard of them.
It's at the Rosen Plaza down on I Drive, but it's like a nice steakhouse, whatever. And I went there, and I was with some people, and they ordered their. We all ordered and everything, and they were like, "Yeah, we have bread service, with like fresh pesto." And I'm like, "Oh man, it comes with a pesto. That's like interesting."
yeah,
typically
you gotta
only,
dip it in,
yeah.
kind of like the Carrabba's, right?
So we get there, bread never arrives. Like, we got our drinks. Everyone's drinking drinks. We got our drinks right away. But the bread never arrives. And then our entrees start coming. And I'm like, that's a bummer. I was kind of looking forward to this bread.
But did you or the bread's complimentary?
Yeah, the bread is
Okay.
complimentary.
It's not like you ordered. I
No,
like
no, no.
some of the.
So we all got we all got steaks, and we all got them. And then it's like, oh, I'll be back with the bread. And they come with the bread. And I'm like, well, delicious, but it's why the whole point of it was to have it before your meal.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone's eating their steaks. I get a nice ribeye. It looks amazing. It's served with like some au gratin potatoes. I ordered it medium rare, and I cut into it. It is well done.
Okay.
Like, it is bad. And like, normally, if I order it medium rare and it's
did you get the old Gordon Ramsay? You donkey.
yeah. So normally, if it's like a little bit over, if it's medium, I'll eat it. Even if it's medium
Yeah.
if it's on like the lighter side, cool. I'll just
Are
trudge
you?
through it.
Are
I'm
you
not
more
going to be that person.
You normally do medium rare.
Medium rare, yeah.
Yeah. Are you more? Would you be disappointed if it would ended up coming out more medium, or if it came out more rarer than normal? Like, are you like, how many? Which are you not so disappointed about? Where you're like, I'll eat it anyway.
See, here's the thing. At least if it's under, they can always cook it a bit more.
Yeah.
But if it's over, like if it's
Yeah.
too much over, it's like, oh, man.
There are times when a steak comes out more rarer
Yeah.
than I've ordered, and I'm like, this is still fine by me.
Yeah, no, it has been. I've eaten a rare steak
But
before.
when I'm saying when it's overcooked, if it's like medium, I'm like, oh, that's a bummer, man. Do I want to have them do another one?
But see, that's what I'm saying. There's got to
Yeah.
be a level of it. This one, it was well done. It was
I don't.
way
I'll say this.
overcooked.
I've never sent a rare steak back.
I've had them cook it a little bit longer if it was like almost raw inside, like if it was almost purple. Anyway, so I sent the steak back, and they obviously they were very apologetic. I'm so sorry, and I'm like, yeah, it's whatever.
Is the server giving you any attitude, or is this
No, no,
all right.
but whatever. But again, it was one of those where after we got our initial drinks, we never saw them again until we got our food. So that was kind of weird. In the meantime, the busser, she was amazing. She's refilling the water. She goes, you know what, you guys, you all look very, you're all dressed up. You guys look very great. I hope you guys are having a nice night. I'm like, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the busser is awesome. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for my food. I'm like, okay, it's a ribeye that's medium rare. Shouldn't take too long. So I'm like, go ahead, guys, go ahead and start eating. I don't want your food to get cold
Yeah.
because you're waiting on mine. They all finished their food.
Oh wow!
They all actually get their plates.
Like, did they have anything vastly different than when you ordered?
No, that's the thing.
I mean, did somebody else order a steak?
Yeah, they all ordered steaks, but
Okay.
but none of them had the ribeye that was medium rare. There were some other medium rare steaks and whatever.
Gotcha.
They all get their plates cleared. But again, the busser has no idea. The busser's just doing their job.
So they don't even have plates in front of them at this
So
point.
they didn't have plates in front of them, and I'm still waiting for my food. And it got to a point we didn't get other than the waters because the busser was refilling the
Yeah.
waters. No, we all wanted more alcohol. We
Yeah.
all wanted more drinks, and they didn't come by
Mm-hmm.
to give it to us. The restaurant was quasi busy. I think there was a conference in town, so there was a lot of larger tables, but that was crazy. So anyway,
But I find with larger tables, sometimes neglecting a larger table is not as bad because they are all
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
amongst one another.
but I wasn't a large table.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the manager comes with my steak and says, hey, do you mind cutting into it, to make sure it's okay? I hate that because if your chef is any sort of good, I shouldn't have to prove the steak cutting in front of you.
Yeah, the
I
chef.
shouldn't have
the
to
chef
do
couldn't
that.
do this while he was back there.
It's like you should.
Why don't you cut into it?
But anyway.
It's like, hey manager, I tell you what. Why don't you cut into it? You tell me if you think it's medium rare.
So anyway, so I cut into it. It's finally at where the temperature is supposed to be.
Is that dickish?
No,
say,
well,
you know,
a little bit.
manager, I
I
tell
think
you,
it's
why don't
awkward.
you do the
And it's like,
honors?
oh no, because it's basically like the restaurant saying, no, you proved to me that it was wrong.
Right. The onus is on them.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, you guys need to get it right. I shouldn't have to prove to you that it wasn't
I
satisfactory.
agree with that.
So anyway, so I cut into it. It's the right temperature, and then he looks around and goes, so wait, did you guys not order anything? And they're like, no, we already ate, and they cleared our food. And because it was the manager,
Ooh.
his face went ghost white. He did one of those, OS, this should never have happened. Because I'm not saying that like that we were balling by any means, but like we were spending a good amount of money there.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a pretty like high. So like he knew, oh, we messed this up.
Yeah.
So he immediately went to the back. Now I didn't hear him, but he definitely had that walk where it's like, I'm going to yell at someone because they messed this up. So it was awkward now because again, I told everyone they could eat because I don't want them waiting on me.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm glad they didn't because their food would have gotten really cold.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm awkwardly eating by myself.
Just watching.
And let me say this: it was not seasoned at all. I think when they went to make me a new steak, I think they forgot to make it to
and
me.
they just like put it together like
and then they just
immediately.
exactly they didn't. There was no seasoning on it. Like they was still served with like the butter on top and everything, but
Yeah.
like it was bland as crap. Then our original server comes over. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you got it. I was yelling at them like, where's my ribeye?" Like she was trying to joke it off, and I'm like, "We haven't seen you all night." And a manager had to
It's
come
like,
over.
when were you going to tell us that? When were you
Yeah.
going to tell us that our food was on its way?
And like a manager had to come over and deliver it, and then he got shocked that everyone else was done with their food. So I had to like awkwardly like hurry up and eat because now it's like I'm feeling really weird like that everyone else is waiting on me. They still didn't get another drink refill because at this time it was just awful.
Yeah.
So I rush eat. I didn't even eat all of it. Again, it wasn't that good. And then you know, the manager comes over and it's like, oh, hey, you know, we're going to discount, you know, your 25% off everyone's, you know, meal and everything. So like, sorry about that.
So, okay, 20
And-
okay,
and-
so let me ask you this. 25% off everybody's, or should you just get yours for free?
Well, the thing is though, because I think it was one of those where they didn't like. Let me say they didn't charge for drinks. So I think they comped the drinks and it was 25% off
Okay.
the food. Because I think it was one of those. It wasn't just that your food was messed up, but everyone else had to sit there and either eat without
Yeah,
you. Wait,
yeah,
they
you couldn't enjoy it
exactly.
together.
So
I'd be like, you know what? I want
so
mine.
I at least did appreciate that. Meanwhile, this busser was still on point with the water. Like she
Yeah.
was so friendly. So I'm like, I normally, I'm not you, Matt. I don't just complain because again, people really don't care about their jobs. But I could tell the manager really was upset and offended that you know this was happening. So I said, hey, to be honest, here's all the things that went wrong. Like you just knew about this, like the whatever, but like the steak wasn't seasoned at all. Obviously, you saw that everyone had to sit there and watch me eat, which was
Right.
really odd. We didn't get drinks. Bread didn't come out. So there's one shining moment was Bella over there. Bella is who was the busser's name. And
like all of a sudden the cameras come out and it's like that's the owner.
undercover boss. I
Undercover
like it.
boss.
But anyway, so yeah, I pointed her out, and he was at least appreciative, and supposedly he said that she's going to get like a gift card because they do that thing where if you let the manager know, like
Yeah.
the employee themselves gets a gift card. So I hope she is because apparently she just got hired like a couple weeks ago, which kind of makes sense why she was so perky and upbeat and everything. It's like,
She hasn't
she's
been thrown into the ringer
She's
yet?
the new hire. But anyway, it was an awful bad experience. Now, I know that wasn't like the worst that's ever happened. There have been some really worse stuff. I know you've dealt with some worse stuff. I've also known you've dealt with some not even close to as bad, and you've still complained like it was the worst thing in the world. Just throwing you under
I
the
just
bus
believe
there.
in giving feedback. Constructive
But no,
criticism.
your criticism is not constructive. It's just not.
I'm trying to think of an example.
Yeah. Anyway, but that kind of leads into the next customer service topic that we had. Which, by the way, Move Troop, let us know if you've had some horror stories with that.
We like complaining.
Well,
We
you like complaining. I only get there when it truly is an issue.
I think I've gotten good at complaining.
No, you haven't.
I mean, like I do it well.
No, but it doesn't yield any results.
It makes me feel better.
Does
That's
it though?
that's the result
Does
I'm
it though?
looking
Because
for.
you still end up bitching about it to me afterwards.
Because it's good content for
Anyway.
the show.
But
Which, i.e., example.
it leads
Let's
into
go.
the next one. So Matt and I, we went to the Dollar General, which by the way shouldn't be called Dollar General when almost everything is over $1. But
Everything's
that's
almost
beside the
over
point.
$1, and there's no general to be found. I asked for. They said the best we can do is lieutenant.
But anyway, so
No general.
Matt goes there. I'll let you tell the story, but we get there. Matt gets.
I had to
Matt
pick
gets
up some
items.
cleaning stuff. I had to pick up some
and,
cleaning stuff.
And we just go to the checkout. And again, it's about like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So it wasn't like busy by any means, but there's like I'd say half a dozen people shopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So at the counter, you know, I drop off my items on the counter, and the lady behind the counter who's wearing a mask and a hoodie, by the way,
Yeah.
important to the story,
And she has long hair.
and she has long hair. So she's basically like the dark Sith, ninja, look, and she says something, and I'm like, excuse me? And she says something again, and I have no idea what she's saying. Turns out she's on her phone through her headset, her ear,
Her
like
earbuds
earpiece,
or something.
earpods or something.
Yeah.
And, as you and I mentioned, afterwards commented, the transaction was fine. I still put in my credit card. She still bagged the thing. But there was no, like, real talking between her and I. I could
Yes.
hear her.
But
I could hear her talking to whoever was on the phone.
the thing that confused us was it was seamless because when we walked up, she goes, "Hey guys, how are you doing?"
Right.
So talking
Yes,
to us,
yes.
then started talking to the person on
Yeah,
her
she's
headset.
like, so anyway, I figured maybe tomorrow we could do the blah, blah, blah.
Same tone, same speech pattern, same volume, same everything. And then in the middle of it, that'll be 1095. Okay, thank you very
And
much.
then
Here's
right
your
back,
receipt.
and then right back to talking to whoever was on the phone.
And it would be like if you and I are talking, but for some reason in the middle of it, like I just start talking to someone else. Like
Yeah.
you would have
it was
no idea.
seamless.
So yeah, Matt brought that up at like,
How about if you were the person on the other? If I would not want to be talking to somebody who is interacting with customers simply because I just don't want to hear that. Like, call me when you're not busy anymore.
well,
All
but
right?
you don't know what their conversation was about because, quite frankly, we couldn't
If it was
tell.
something super important, okay. But if you're just trying to
Mm-hmm.
pass the time because it's boring behind the register, no.
But see, I just think it was weird because again, it came out of nowhere. It's like, wait, is she talking to us? Is she not
Mm-hmm.
talking to us? Because there are some things that were directed at us. So then it brought, you
We're
know,
walking out in the parking lot, and I had asked you, is that something that
is that rude?
Is it rude? Is that something that you
Because-
you call and leave
let me say
a
this.
complaint?
Well, one, you're a Karen. Two, so let me say this: if the cashier completely ignored us and was just on the phone,
Right.
completely agree
Right.
that was rude.
She
that
didn't
was
slow the
unacceptable.
transaction up at all.
No, not at all. Quite frankly, I think it was probably
Yeah,
even
no.
faster. But then it got to a point where it's like, well, wait a minute, was it rude? Because let's say she didn't have the hoodie on, didn't have ear pods on, but she's just one of those people that talks to themselves.
Yeah, she could have been like schizophrenic.
But-
We're
but-
assuming she had AirPods on.
But not even schizophrenic. Even just one of those things where it's like, all right, Kenny, you got this. You're going to make sure that you're giving them the change. Oh, that'll be $10.95. And you know what, Kenny? After this, you're going to go home. You're going to relax and having this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what if they're just having conversations themselves? Is that rude?
No,
So then,
but I'm assuming that person can't help it.
but what if they can, and that's just their personality?
Then it's rude. If you're purposefully doing it, then it's rude.
So I think that's weird because if they're talking to themselves or they're talking to someone else, does that change your perception of whether they're rude or not?
I think that if this lady chose to have this conversation, whether it's with herself or somebody else during our interaction, I believe that's rude. If she legitimately has some, illness that she cannot stop from speaking out loud and having a conversation with herself or the people in her mind, then you know what? Then that's that. I'm not hating on that.
Interesting. Well, let us know, Move Troop. Like, is that rude? It's one of those "Am I the asshole?" But it's like, is it rude or not?
Is this person rude?
If they never slowed down the transaction, if they still spoke to you and were able to communicate with you, they just happened to have conversation. Because again, what if it was another coworker that was right next to them, or what if it was the customer behind you? Again, didn't slow down your. And let me say that I'm not saying whether it is or isn't rude. This is truly a gray area. But your transaction didn't get slowed down, and they still talked to you very politely. They informed you of the total. They gave you the receipt. They said, "How are you? Have a nice night."
There are instances where if I'm talking to somebody on the phone and they start having a conversation, I've done this to my father even, where if I'm talking to somebody on the phone and they start having a conversation or responding to somebody else too much, I'll just hang up. I will straight hang up.
But
And
see,
then they call me back and like, hey, I think we disconnected. I go, no, I hung up because we're having a conversation. And then you're not having a conversation with somebody else at the same time. It's either
But
me or
yeah,
them.
what's the difference? You and I are sitting there. We're at a restaurant or a bar, and then all of a sudden, like, I just start talking to someone else for a quick second as we're talking. Then I turn back and talk to you. What's the difference with that?
Well, because with the phone call, we're like specifically engaging. Like
So
that's-
are we when you and I are at a bar or at a restaurant?
I don't know, man. I there's also the fact that whoever you turn to at the next table over, it's not a full on conversation, going on indefinitely.
So, going back to the chat, people are just chiming in on whether or not it's rude or not. But Bradley comes in and goes, "You need to see my Wendy's review online." And I'm like, so now
No,
that gets me
link
intrigued.
it to us, sir.
That gets me intrigued.
Don't make us do the work.
Yeah.
Link it to us.
You have to share that with us. If you left a review online and it was enough.
What are we going to do? Start searching all of Yelp for every Wendy's review? Come on
That
now.
is true. All right, guys. We need to move along here.
We want to see
and
it.
Of
Post
course,
it.
we
Screenshot
always discuss everything that has happened in the news recently, especially that we've had a show about a week ago. So, of course, a week later, things have happened, and it is our new segment called "What's Going On."
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, what's going on?
What's going on? Brought to you by our amazing sponsors, Classic Man Cuts, classicmancuts.com. Go see Amber and make sure that you go see Amber, unlike some people. Otherwise, you could always, you could use both. I don't know why I said otherwise. You can go to Her Majesty Services, talk to Ashley and Jennifer at Her Majesty Services, and get your house cleaned up. Matt, you're a gambling man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now,
am.
I know you aren't a slots guy.
No,
But have you ever played the slots before?
I have.
Okay. Have you ever won?
On the long term, no. I've never hit anything decently big. My however much I put in just slowly goes down to zero.
Okay.
That's why I don't play the slots.
Typically, when we've seen that there's like an error in a slot machine, more times than not, the Nevada Gaming Commission actually sides with the casino and
Yeah.
almost basically says like, "Hey, sorry, that's it's an error, so it's a computer error. Sorry."
I've heard this story.
Well,
but this is
except
good.
a man from Arizona who was unaware that he had actually won nearly $230,000 and was never told by the machine.
the
or
machine
the casino.
malfunctioned. It didn't sound the alarms.
Yep, it didn't spit the payouts. Now, here's the thing. When they were doing an audit, because obviously every slot machine has to be audited and everything, the Nevada Gaming Commission goes, "Why do you have $230,000 off?" Now,
Who won this?
I'm sure if it's off by like a couple of hundred, whatever, it probably doesn't flag the system again, computer errors and stuff like that. But if it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, they had good on the Nevada Gaming Board. They tracked down this man by going through all of the security footage around that time.
My understanding is the casino helped too.
No, the casino, of course, yeah. I'm not. Like,
the
trying to say
casino
that.
wasn't not trying to pay.
But I just think it's funny that like
My understanding.
they
and
had to
do,
go
do,
through.
Do we know what casino it was?
It was Treasure Island.
Okay, yeah. So my understanding is that they looked through security footage, ATM transactions.
Yep.
They went through
They tried
security
to
footage
use some facial recognition and yeah.
and Uber information to find out who this person was.
Yeah, and good on them. They ended up finding
They
the
found out
gentleman,
who was the winner.
and they gave him his $230,000.
Called him up and said, "We trusted you. We trusted you. We have some money for you. All you have to do is meet us in the UAE."
All right, Bradley, you gave us a link to the Google review. By the way, it's titled "Google Review of Wendy's" by BRAD, and then I click on it, and it says this review is no longer available.
Oh,
That should be our move for the week right there, but it's not. So again, we talk about gambling. Of course, this Sunday is the Super Bowl.
yes.
And you and I are going to be gambling on it. But did you know that you can actually get paid for watching the Super Bowl?
Oh, that would be nice.
So apparently there is a review company out there, The Game Day. They haven't specified what the questions will cover, but a chosen applicant will need to be a football fan with the ability to recall iconic moments from the sport's history. So it's almost like a trivia game,
Okay.
except it's going to be like very review themed. There's going to be 15 NFL-themed questions throughout the game. And if you were to successfully do it, you'll get $2,022 to represent the year 2022.
All right.
There you go.
I'm not good at trivia though.
No, well, too bad. And then
I'd rather just try and win $2,022
gambling.
by betting $1,011
Oh boy. Yes, that's correct.
$1,011 on
Except-
who's going to on the coin toss.
Except you only win
That's
1,011. You need to bet $2,022 to win 2022.
I was just going to try and double.
Someone's not good at math.
I was just going to try and double.
All right. So we've talked about people breaking security protocols and things that happen. But did you ever think that chickens could be the culprits of a security breach?
Depending on where this security breach is at. Is it an old McDonald's
Well,
farm?
it happened at the U.S. Department of Defense headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, where apparently a lot of chickens ended up.
Where a chicken somehow dug a hole underneath the
It
security
wasn't
fence,
even a lot of chicken. It was one chicken.
went through the lasers.
Apparently, the chicken's been described as sweet and nervous.
Oh, no.
Why is that
No,
part
no,
of the
no.
news story?
They have footage of it. This chicken is falling in through the roof like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, hanging just over the floor, and then got caught.
Apparently, it just out of wandering, it ended up, going past security. So, like, none of the sensors, none of the trip alarms, nothing. Meanwhile, you're just walking down the hallway.
This chicken sticks its face up to the facial recognition, and you see the green light going across its face, and then it says "granted," and then this chicken just walks right.
The chicken's beak is like punching in the number code.
Then the chicken does the rooster call, and on the keypad, and you could see the fingerprints where people have been touching the
I like
code.
it. I like it.
With its beak.
But how weird would that be? Like, you and I don't work in like secure areas, but obviously not anyone can just wander in.
No.
How would you feel if you're just like walking around the hallway and all of a sudden just this random chicken just starts like slowly walking by you? Would you alert someone?
Poyo. No.
Would you alert someone and just wonder how the hell a chicken got into?
Who do you tell?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
Who do you?
And how do
you
you
go to
find
HR?
out? How do you find
go
out
to
that
Human
happened?
Resources?
All right. Well, that's what's going on. And of course, we always transition and move on from what's going on to our moof of the week.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You little stupid and whoa.
I want to say move for the week.
You little dumb man. Whoa.
All right, Matt. You and I both have personalized license plates.
Yes.
I don't think it's a secret that you and I spent the money to get some customized license plate, and we're not talking about the ones that have like gators or support wildlife. No, I'm talking about like you actually pay to have specific letters spelling out words or whatever.
Yes.
There's obviously a lot of stuff that you can't, but like you can't just have a curse word.
Right.
You can't just do that.
I've seen the manatee one.
Yep.
And it just says "eat them."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but there are some that have been rejected. So, Florida officials released a list of personalized license plates that they rejected in 2021. Because when you do this, you actually have to put the reason why you want that. And sometimes, if the reason is just as bad as the name, they'll reject it. Well, there's one including T. Bundy for Ted Bundy. That got rejected. Also, another one called Fart. It's Fart with 3 A's. I thought you'd like
That's
that.
not that bad though.
I thought
Why
you'd
would
like that.
They should do that.
Another
You got to
one,
write a letter to our governor.
another
and say
one,
you want
it
that.
nuts with 4 U's. So
Okay.
nuts.
Maybe if they add a Z instead of an S at
So
the end.
some other ones. These are pretty good. 2020 WTF.
Ooh, that's
I-
good.
I like
Yeah,
that.
anything WTF. Maybe if it was WTH, they might let that
Maybe.
fly.
Some other ones. Anything to do with fart. There's obviously fart with 3 A's. There's I fart. That got it. Dr. 69. That can't be done. Forever 69. The number 4 ever 69. Drug man.
Oh yeah,
And that's
that could be a pharmacist.
I know, but that's my move for the week right there is drug man. Another one is Yas Queen.
Hold on, there's nothing wrong with that one.
YASSQWN.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But anyway, it reminds me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Kramer got the
Yeah.
license plate and he accidentally got ass man,
Yeah.
and it was meant to go to a proctologist.
Right.
So that's why probably where drug man came from. Finally, the last one that some of them include was V nasty. So see, that makes me wonder: was that the one where the explanation didn't work?
They should release what the explanations are.
That would be cool. But yeah, they have the entire list. There was over 500 of them. Another one, 4FXSAKE. So for fuck's sake. Like you could
Okay,
do that one.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like those dad jokes there.
People ask me what mine is, and if you don't know what it is, I don't tell. They say, "Is that a personal license plate?" And I say no.
Except
If you
for
know,
this.
you know.
Well, mine, I'll tell right now. It's SFNSCC. Those are the first letters of so fresh and so clean.
But why? What's the draw to that?
I like the song.
I mean, there's no song that's ever come along after that that's been
It
better.
describes me. That song describes who I am.
Maybe So Fresh and So Clean. But are we
Clean.
going to go clean?
Because that's what separates it from just a general description. The fact that it's clean means you know it's the Outkast song.
I've thought about changing mine to something legal profession wise, but I think that'd just be.
Lawman. Ooh, do it, lawman.
But that's probably There should be a website where you could see
Oh, I'm sure
if
there
they're
is.
taken.
Yeah, it's called when you apply to get one.
But
it
you have
tells
to. But you have to sit there and you have to. All right, try this. All right, try this. All right, try this.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. They're not just
You
gonna
should be
give
able to
you
go.
random-
You should be able to go online and see if it's available. Oh.
Okay, that's going to be way too long. But hey, seriously, Bradley, like post the actual real review of it. I don't want to get there. Your dog is
Come
just.
on, man.
He was supposedly well behaved, but
He's
as we all
well-behaved. He's
know,
not doing anything bad.
Matt's a liar. Not doing anything bad. He's ruining the show by licking the microphone.
He doesn't know he's ruining the show. He doesn't know what the show is. He knows that he's showing affection towards me.
My dog doesn't ruin the show like that.
Oh, really?
My dog sits on my lap.
Your cat.
My cat
and
does.
dog.
No, my cat does, but my dog just sits on my lap. Yours is
If
apparently
we had
eating the
all
microphone.
three in here, who do you think's going to be ruining the show the most?
The cat. No, and I will fully admit
Mm.
it. That's why the cat isn't a part of the show. I actually can control and put him in the other room. Anyway, so that was our moof of the week. And now we go to everyone's favorite portion. Matt, of course, is very unprepared for the segment, so I had to do most of the work.
It was my idea.
But I still had to do all the work.
Yes.
But we always like to do a very healthy song that everyone needs. I don't know why I said healthy. I think I was trying to come up with a different adjective there, but it's everyone's favorite. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be
any type of
there's-
hint at the song.
No, I think it's going to be one you're going to be like, I like this. This is a good song. It's fun. It's one we all know, and it's one that I think you'll enjoy. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are Matt's Lonely Thoughts.
I know you like me. Is that the words? No.
He is a lawyer. He is a lawyer. He is alone. All alone. So on any given night, he's stealing Reddit topics on his phone. He asks tough questions. Hypotheticals. He's unprepared. So unprepared. Frequently delays the show. He won't eat fruit cause he's just too scared. Now let's sit back and hear Matt's lonely thoughts. Did I mention he's a lawyer with lonely thoughts? Move true. Move true.
Move true.
Please buy all our merch so you can look so fine. Don't forget you can get a free sticker online. Move true.
Move true.
Move true.
That's probably the best part.
By the way, Matt has sunk like lower and lower in his chair, so it looks like the camera's been moving, but it's just Matt doesn't sit upright. There you go. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. So Matt, you and I were discussing what the lonely thought should be, and it was a popular segment when we had Tucker on the show. So we decided let's do it again because again,
But
Matt's
it was
unprepared.
popular not because of Tucker. It was popular because it
We
was
don't
a
know
good
that.
idea.
We don't know that. Could have been because of Tucker. So we ranked Disney princesses as to how well you would like to hang out with them if you met them at a bar. Again, assuming they're all of legal age. So we thought
And who there was someone who ran away with that.
Vanellope from
And Ariel, I think, right?
Well, that was
Didn't
because of
she
Tucker. But I also know Tiana. Oh, Tiana can get
Yeah,
it.
Vanellope von Schweetz.
Yep. Anyway, so we
Yeah.
thought, you know what? We got to do something for the ladies. So
Mm-hmm.
what if the tables were turned and we had Disney princes
Okay.
there?
But the criteria is: are we doing the same criteria? We'd want to say who we'd want to drink with. Like if we were to meet this Disney
Correct.
prince
So
at the bar.
we have 5 tiers. There's about a dozen Disney princesses, and we put them in 5 tiers. So at the very bottom, where this is again, would you rather have a drink with them? The lower tier is I'd rather give up alcohol.
Right. You don't want to.
Yeah,
drink
you
with
don't
them at
even
all.
want to drink with them. You don't even want to drink with
Yeah.
them. With them. The other one is okay. Yeah, the next tier up is you know what? We're going to look for an excuse to leave.
Yeah.
You
You're gonna
re-
keep drinking, but it's somewhere
But
else.
you regret this decision. You're going to be like, I'm going to go
I'm
elsewhere.
not. This dude's too.
In the
not hanging out
middle,
with him.
in the middle of the 5, it's you know what? Only in a group scenario.
Okay.
I wouldn't go out of my way to hang out with them.
Yeah.
But you know what? In a group,
One on one, it's too
I'll tolerate
weird.
them.
You know, you're too annoying.
The second highest is you know what? They're a fun hang. You know what? I probably would call them up.
Yeah.
Probably get a drink with them, hang out.
Okay,
or
so
whatever.
fun hang is you would call them up.
Yeah, exactly.
To drink.
The top tier, bros for life. You're
Okay.
doing everything with
Yeah.
them. And I mean
Cupid undie runs
everything.
together.
And I'm talking about like 69ing together.
Oh, well, that
All
just
right.
went weird.
So here we go. So we have our first candidate. And again, these are Disney princes. So first up, we'll do it. We all know Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin.
So we got Aladdin. Aladdin's the first one.
Okay, so Aladdin. First off, he's from the streets. He probably enjoys a good drink.
Okay.
I think
He's a bit of a scammer. So I think, you know, he'd probably have some pretty good stories.
he'd be fun to hang out with in a bar because he has those stories. But also, he could tell his rags to riches.
He could.
Friends
Well,
with
that's
the genie.
So are you getting Aladdin pre when he became a prince? Or I guess no,
no,
be
he's a prince now.
He's a prince
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Hank, yeah, you know what? I would put him in the fun hang category.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying bros for life.
I'm calling. Hey, Aladdin, what are you doing tonight, man?
Because here's the thing. I think Aladdin is a little bit too elitist now because, you know, when he became a prince,
No,
he
I-
became kind of a jerk. You know what I mean? He kind of became a little
But
pompous.
didn't him almost losing everything knock him back down to reality?
yeah, but once you get a taste of the
But
nice...
some of these princes that we're going to go over have always been princes.
I know. Oh, I get that. And
Aladdin's the most realist one.
that's why he's at the fun hang. I wouldn't say bros for life. I'm putting him at the
all
fun
right.
hang.
All right. I don't know. I'm not saying he. We'll see who might fall into the bros for life. I don't know who else we
Yeah.
have on this list.
Someone brings up, would he drive the carpet drunk? And I'm like, well, no, the carpet can fly
Well,
itself.
first off-
the carpet has its own,
And
like,
he's also got monkey.
that's true. But the carpet has its own, like, mind. Like, it's an anthropomorphic
Yeah.
carpet. So it can do whatever it wants. It's fine. All right. So next up, we have Eric, Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid.
Do we know what he was the prince of?
well,
what did he do? I mean, he's
You're
just.
going to ask that for every single one, man. I don't like
yeah, I
that.
guess you could ask that for.
So let's say that Prince Eric, a Little Mermaid, he's a sailor. He just goes out sailing, adventuring on his
he
own.
looks like, even though he's a prince, he's worked hard to, like, maintain that, to keep it. Whereas some of these other princes that we're going to come across, clearly everything was handed to them.
You know, I like the fact that he's a working man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's,
Right.
he's a good working man.
He probably drinks at the end of every, night.
So he's definitely he's not on the lower tier.
I would say he's probably in the fun hang.
In the
group.
fun hang category with
Yeah,
Aladdin?
yeah, he's probably a legit.
Because he's probably got some like sea shanty tales.
Yeah, he's probably seen some shit.
Okay, I can see that. All right, that's pretty good. All right, next up we'll do Prince Naveen. So Tiana is probably one of my favorites. But,
This is all
but
you because I've
Prince
never
Naveen-
seen this one.
Really?
Yeah, we went over this when we were talking about Princess Tiana.
Okay. Well, so Prince Naveen is the one that gets turned into the frog by the bad guy, and he's got to be the one that like has to woo it or whatever. So he's another one that's seen some shit. He's been a frog.
Okay,
So, but I'm gonna say, here's the thing.
I know nothing about this
And
guy.
I'm sitting there only because Tiana is so badass. I can't give him any high marks because the only reason I'd want to hang out with them is in a group scenario, so I can be with Tiana.
Oh yeah.
So that's I'm putting Prince Naveen in the only in a group scenario category.
No, all right.
All right, next up we have actually I'm going to skip him. I'm going to skip that. Let's do the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, so this guy, what was he doing before he was the Beast?
Well,
first
remember,
off?
he was a child who didn't let that witch in because of how ugly she was, and that's what turned him into a beast.
When
And
he was
that's
a
what-
kid?
Yeah, when he was like a little kid.
Okay,
So
I thought he was already like a prince. And
Well, he was a prince, but he was a teenager, like he was a young boy, and then he rejected the witch. The witch changed herself to a beautiful woman and then cursed the entire castle.
Okay.
And that's what turned him into a beast. So he's been jaded a majority of his life.
Do you think he actually learned his lesson though? I mean, look, let's think about this. He was rude to the witch,
Yep.
and then
Very
living
rude.
as the beast. Belle comes in And yes, he's nice to her, but is he nice to her because she's good looking?
Well, and not just that. I think too.
I mean, I believe he loves her.
Let's say he changed, but there's still going to be a part of him that's still going to be that asshole.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling here.
So, is he? You'd rather give up alcohol, or will you just look for an excuse to not hang out with him?
Knowing who we have coming up, he's probably not the worst one. I'd put him in the looking for
Looking
a
for an
reason
excuse to leave?
Yeah.
Okay. So next up we have Li Shang from Mulan. Now, Li Shang was the general that trained everyone, and he ended up having some weird feelings for Mulan, who he thought was a boy. Li Shang, if you hear a song, he goes, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? That's pretty sexist. He ain't woke. He ain't with it. He ain't with it.
What were the lyrics?
Let's get down
Let's
to
get
business.
down. Let's get down to business. You know that song?
Oh boy. So again,
Yeah, I would agree. He's probably
he's probably like really bro, and he works out probably way too much. He's probably like super aggro.
yeah. You could put him in one of the lower tiers. I would agree with that.
Is he going to be annoying enough to where you'd rather just not drink, or is he just you trying to leave? Because I don't know. He seems like that dumb jock that like if he's drinking with the boys, he's going to want to. He's Li Shang.
Like if he's just with the boys, do you think he's tolerable?
I think Li Shang is the type that would put quarters after quarter after quarter into that punching bag rating machine in order to see if he can get
and
the
just
high
keep
score.
punching.
Are we giving up alcohol, or are we just gonna go somewhere else with him?
We're gonna just dip out on him.
Okay, so Li Shang looking for an excuse to leave. All right, next up we got Flynn from Rapunzel, or Tangled technically, but the Rapunzel story.
Let's skip that. I don't really know that one.
Why even do this if you
Go
don't know the
to the
people?
gentleman that's from Cinderella.
Prince Charming?
Is that Prince Charming?
Why do this if you don't know the people?
Well, he's from Cinderella, right?
Yes.
Okay, isn't Prince Charming also from Sleeping Beauty?
The prince is literally Prince Charming. That
Okay,
is-
who's the prince in first off, Snow White?
Yeah, that's Prince Philip.
Okay, and then who's the prince in Sleeping Beauty?
No, Sleeping Beauty is Prince Philip.
Okay, who's the prince in Snow White?
In Snow White, that would not the huntsman. Let's see, find out the prince's name. Prince Florian.
You see, I would never even know that.
Okay.
All right, so anyway, Prince Charming.
Prince Charming from Cinderella.
That's who I'd rather give up alcohol on.
Really? Why?
Because
Justify.
because he's the guy that I'm telling you who's grown up all his life, super rich. It would be so annoying to hang out. Let me put it like this: the Prince.
Dead air.
I know.
Dead air.
I'm drawn the real prince in the UK. What's his
Charles?
name? No. Below
William.
him. William.
Okay.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't think I'd ever want to have a drink with him. I think it
Really?
would just be super awkward. Not want to deal. There's nothing. We'd have zero in common to talk about.
So you think, and then think about it too.
It would be disastrous.
He also has the worst memory known to man, and he's an idiot that he doesn't even ask a girl's name when he's dancing with them. Think about that.
Where do you live, lady?
So we're
Let
putting
me come
Prince
find you.
Charming in the I'd rather give up alcohol.
Yes, 100%.
By the way,
There's, you're probably going to be looked at weird because you're doing something wrong. You know, you go to shake his hand, it's wrong. The way
Yeah,
you're
I
drinking
can
your
see that.
drink, wrong. And he's just looking down on you, not
Okay.
dealing with it.
So you've seriously never seen Tangled?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna do Flynn. Flynn, he's a traveler. He's a plunderer. He's kind of a schemer. He uses his charm to get it. So he's kind of very similar to Aladdin, but he seems a little skeezier. Now, I will say, gets the crap beat out of him with a frying pan by Rapunzel, which is pretty funny.
Okay. But he holds his own?
He does hose on, but he makes a name for himself as a thief. Now, Aladdin did it because got to eat to live, got to steal to eat.
Yeah, he's
know?
doing it for necessity.
Flynn's doing it because I think he's just a terrible person.
He's good at it.
So, but he is charming. So I think you can get some benefits from that. This is why I would put him in the group scenario, because he'll probably end up flirting with the server or flirting with the waitress to probably get you guys some free shots.
Okay.
But again, you don't want a one-on-one with him. It's got to be in a group.
Yeah.
So we're putting Flynn in the only in a group scenario. So we're going to do the classic princesses. We have Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty. I'll tell you right now where he needs to go.
Go ahead. Take it.
Okay, imagine this, Matt. You're out, you're hiking, let's say. You're just hiking, because I know you're not really one to go camping, but you're hiking. And you see a pretty girl in the distance, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to approach her. She's sleeping. Sleep, just dead asleep.
Just
So what's the first thing you think of doing?
making out with her.
I'm going to touch her.
Touch her when
I'm
she's
going to
asleep.
get me some teenage girl
some
action.
groping.
And that's why Prince Philip is in the I'd rather give up alcohol.
Agreed.
'Kay.
Yeah, he should not be drinking alcohol either.
All right, Prince
He's-
Florian
he's-
from Snow White.
What is he known for? I mean, I'm just trying to remember.
From Snow White.
I know, but like he just shows up at the end, right?
Well, I mean, he's the one that ends up like he has the song like "Someday My Prince Will Come." That's what Snow White sings about. Now, again, you trashed the crap out of Snow White and put her really low
Yeah.
because of the dwarves.
I have a feeling that I want nothing to do with that entire relationship.
So you okay?
I'll hang out with the dwarves, man.
So would you put him in the looking for an excuse to leave then? Because he's not a terrible person. I would put him in looking for an excuse because he's not a terrible person.
Sounds good.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
All right,
I'm trying to
next
get my
one.
dog off the-
Next one up is from Pocahontas, John Smith.
True story. I'm related to Pocahontas. I have the tree,
Okay.
family tree to prove it. But let's see, John Smith. He's I think he falls into that category where he's a man's man. You know, he's
Okay.
he's got the work behind him. Nothing was given to him.
But let me say this: he's a captain.
Yeah,
He's an official captain. He does change his ways.
leadership.
But you know
He's got an open mind, so he
does-
changes his ways.
He does. So are we putting
We
him?
see a character arc with him.
Are we putting him in the fun hang category?
Yes, I would say that.
All right. And
Now-
here's the ringer.
Yes,
This is
100%.
the
I'm
ringer.
glad. I know why you left him for last because I'm in 100% agreement.
And we're talking, of course, about Kristoff. from
100%.
Frozen.
I'm called bros for life.
Bros
I didn't-
for
there's
life.
don't even have to say nothing about it.
His relationship alone with his pet means he's a good dude.
Yeah,
Anytime he's on screen, he's all about the jokes.
he's just getting by.
and not just that, but
He's just getting by.
He's all about the jokey jokes. He wants to ruin it. For,
He's the Logan Paul
I don't know about that. Logan Paul's pretty douchey.
of Prince. I think he'd be a bro. He's
No.
a bro.
No, but Logan Paul's douchey. But let me say this: if you look at it like as a joke, he wanted to ruin it for Olaf when Olaf's like summer and it's so great, and then he'd be like, "I'm gonna tell him." Like that's pretty good. But if you think about it, he's sitting there. He's only a part of the adventure, not out of necessity, because he's like, you know what? I'm down for the adventure.
Yeah,
Now, again,
I think he's good.
He gets pretty perturbed.
He's
but yeah,
down. You know, he's the guy that you're calling up. Hey, man,
Yeah,
what are you doing this
Kristoff-
week? What are the plans? You're calling him. What are the plans this week?
Yep, Kristoff is definitely bros for life. So there you have it. So in the hierarchy of things, you'd give up alcohol for Prince Charming as well as Prince Philip.
Boo, we don't want to hang out
Yeah,
with them.
yeah. Looking for an excuse to
Just
leave.
when you see them together on this chart, it's already looking like it's not a fun time.
Yeah, which is weird that you didn't put Prince Florian in there.
I don't know
because he
enough
looks
about it.
exactly.
I can't say much
But we
about
got Li Shang, the Beast, and Prince Florian as you know what you're just gonna get up and leave. You're not gonna give up alcohol because it's one of those. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we're gonna find another table.
Prince Naveen and Flynn.
You know what?
Gotta be in a group scenario.
That second to lowest tier is you show up at the bar and you see them there. You say hi, but then you make your
Correct.
way somewhere else to.
Or you finish your drink, so
Yeah,
it's not that rude. You finish your drink,
And then
it's
you're like,
yeah,
yeah, you're out of there.
So only in a group scenario. Yeah, Prince Naveen. I'm putting him there just because I love Tiana, and then Flynn because he's kind of a schemer, scammer, whatever. In the fun hang category, you'd call them up and hang out. You got Prince Eric, you have Captain John Smith, and of course you have Aladdin.
No, dude, that I'm looking at those three. That'd be a great hangout.
I think it would be a great hangout, and of course, Bros for Life, Kristoff. He's
Easily.
definitely one there. All right, Move Troop, we're going to post this on the page. Let us know. I'm going to leave it here so you can do it. But yeah, let us know what you think, or I can just download it. And we're going to do that. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so very much for listening. That was episode
Yes.
58. Jeremy is all down with hanging out with Prince Florian if he brings the dwarves. I'm in. Yeah, I could see that. But anyway, guys, thank you so very much for joining us. Again, my.cupids.org/2moves. Please consider donating.
Anything
so we
helps.
can get some money. Yeah, even $5 would be amazing. And you have the option of paying the credit card fees on behalf of it, so that way the charity doesn't have to,
Right.
which would be great, but you don't even have to. You can just donate whatever amount of money that you can.
We'll post the links again.
Yeah, exactly. We're always going to post links. And here's the thing: I already got the free open bar, so
Yeah.
I could give a crap about the donations at this point. You're the one who needs them.
That's rude. You need to keep raising.
Take that.
All right. I say good day.